What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we are checking out the brand new Super Lead Overdrive pedal from Soldano. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I take awesome high gain amps, guitars, pickup speakers, overdrives, and pedals. I record them with a simple SM57 setup, and I give you guys the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes that are constantly looking at the screen as opposed to looking into the lens, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, very special day for me here on the channel because I get to help reveal a brand new pedal to the world from one of my favorite brands, and that is Soldano. Today, Soldano have released the Super Lead Overdrive pedal, which, as you can probably surmise from the title, is an SLO preamp style distortion pedal. So this pedal is designed by Soldano and built and distributed by Boutique Amp Distribution here in the United States. And the goal of this pedal is to take the classic, the legendary Soldano SLO 100 preamp and put it into a pedal. Again, I don't think I'm saying anything that's not obvious here, but what's exciting about this is actually designed by Soldano, so they're gonna know exactly how to kind of replicate that Soldano preamp because they know what went into designing it in the first place and put it into a pedal format. And at first glance here, or first chug, if you will, they have absolutely nailed it. Being somebody who has owned an SLO 100 is very familiar with the sound and the feel of that amplifier. I can say that this pedal interacts to the way that the gain kind of changes the feel and the voicing of the preamp. It's all there in this pedal, and I've got to say right off the bat, they did a fantastic job in capturing the spirit of the SLO 100 and putting it into not only a small box, but an affordable box, because this thing is gonna come in at $229. So if you wanted to get that legendary SLO tone in your arsenal, now is the absolute best time to be able to do it. Real quick, before we do jump into the meat of this demo, I wanted to let you guys know that Boutique Amp Distribution did reach out to me and send me this pedal in order to demo for you guys. But with that being said, you are gonna get my 100% honest thoughts and opinions as always. So please keep that in mind. So taking a quick look at the pedal, we've got the classic Soldano styling, we've got the white metal faceplate of the pedal, and we've also got that classic purple indicator light showing you that the pedal is on. On the front of this pedal here, we've got your volume, your presence, your gain, treble, middle, and bass, and those are all going to be self-explanatory. At least I hope that they are going to be self-explanatory and I don't need to dive deeper in those. The one thing that is not pictured on the front of this pedal is on the side of this pedal here, there is a deep voicing switch, and what that is essentially going to do is it's going to be like taking the depth knob on the newer Soldano SLO 100 and turning that baby up, really getting you some low end depth and punch to the circuit. So we're gonna take a look at that switch. We're gonna basically just kind of try to dial in some awesome metal tones with this thing. There are going to be a bunch of artists that are going to be demoing this, that are going to be able to show you the rock and roll and the lead tones all day long. So if that's what you're here for, you're kind of in the wrong place, because I generally just go for the high gain thrash, metal, and hardcore tones, and that's what we're gonna do with this pedal here today. So with that being said, let's jump into it and get some sounds out of this thing. We are not only gonna put it through the Duncan Power Stage 200 here, as we did in that intro clip, but we're also gonna throw it into the power amp section of the classic 5150 here and see how this thing responds in the power section of a fairly common tube amp. For that intro clip, I was using my Gallagher Typhon with the Seymour Duncan Distortion bridge pickup, and I also had the front end of the pedal boosted with a classic Boss SD1, and as you could hear, the pedal took a boost like a champ. We weren't getting any weird frequencies, we weren't getting any harsh high end coming through. It sounded very amp-like in the way that it reacted to a boost, so I'm gonna start off by telling you that right off the bat. Reacts to an overdrive out front, just like the amp does. And as you can see, I didn't really have to do much at all to the EQ section of this pedal. It's fairly evenly balanced. I had the gain up just above noon. We're gonna pull it back. We're gonna get everything right around noon here. And I'm gonna pull that presence back, because the presence does make a big difference, and I'm gonna show you that. Let's go ahead and turn on the Seymour Duncan Power Stage, and here is what we have with the EQ at noon and the gain at 9 o'clock with no boost out front. So we've got a good amount of saturation even with the gain at noon, but let's go ahead and get that presence up, because it really does need to be dialed high to make the amp come alive, to make the pedal come alive, much like the real amp, because I noticed when I had my SLO 100, I had to have that presence pretty much at 9 o'clock or higher to really get it to the point where I liked it. All right, so with the overdrive off, it definitely is a little bit more mild in the treble and the middle region. So let's go ahead and bump that treble and middle up. Again, our gain is at 9 o'clock and we have no boost out front, and we've got a decent amount of saturation, but of course, in true belligerent amateur fashion, let's dial that up. Let's get it up to 11 o'clock. The string clarity is absolutely incredible on this thing, man. It's just like the Soldano. It really just, you hear every single individual string when you're hitting it. There is all sorts of harmonic content going on too. It sounds really, really good. So I'm gonna bump that presence just a tad more. Let's get a little bit more sizzle up top. All right, so yeah, very much like the real deal here. It is incredibly impressive how much it is like the real SLO 100. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of blown away. There is something in the lows and the low mids. If you guys have ever played an SLO 100 before, there's a little bit of a low mid bubble, and the low end is kind of thuddy. It doesn't have that percussiveness that something like the 5150 does. It's got a little bit more of a rounded, more of a low mid or upper low focus, if that makes any sense, than something a little bit more modern like the 5150 does. Very, very, very present here in the pedal itself. Let's go ahead and dial up just a little bit more gain. Let's get it right up at noon, and let's play ourselves a little riffy, why don't we? Again, all of that clarity is there. It's crazy how great this preamp pedal sounds. In the clarity department, it really does mimic the amp in that way. On the side, we're gonna turn on that deep switch, and I'm gonna show you just how much low end signal this thing adds, because it adds a lot. and off again. So yeah, really adding some low-end depth and percussiveness, some punch to the sound, but it's also a little bit on the tubby side for my personal taste. I like it better with the deep switch off. I would have liked to have seen that as an adjustable side pot as opposed to just an on-off switch. I am always way more into a depth control being adjustable and not being just an on-off switch. My personal preference, I think it gives you a little bit more ability to tailor the low end to whatever cabinet, to whatever guitar that you're playing with. It is a very noticeable difference when you flip that on. So if you feel that it's lacking low end in any way, depending on what type of power amp source you're putting it into, that should be able to set you straight pretty quickly. With that being said, let's kind of test the gain range of this thing a little bit more. Let's push it up. We're at about 1 o'clock. Even with all that gain, lots of clarity, but it does roll some of the top end off. But if you're a lead player and you're looking for something with lots of sustain and saturation, man, that's gonna get you there. I am not a lead player whatsoever. That was my sad attempt at a little pentatonic lead. But even so, it just felt incredibly easy to play. The pinch harmonics were incredibly easy to get out of the guitar because there's just so much gain going on. So finally, let's max it out. Because why not, right? There's still clarity in the strings with that gain all the way up. That's incredible. All right, so obviously, yeah, it's not super clear like that, but let's dial it back. Let's kick that Boss SD1 in again because you guys are here for the thrash metal riffs, and this is how you're gonna get the thrash metal riffs out of this pedal. It's by boosting that front end and really tightening the low end response of this thing up. All right, the low end has been tightened up. Let's pull back that middle and treble a little bit. Let's get a little bit more low end on there because we are taking out quite a bit with that SD1. All right, really, really good. We're still in the Seymour Duncan power stage. Let's put it into the back of the 5150 and see how it sounds going through a tube amp power section. I'm really curious for myself, and I'm sure you guys are too. So let's do it. All right, dude, this thing sounds so good. This is so much fun for me. Seriously, this pedal sounds incredible. Okay guys, so we have plenty of saturation going on and plenty of compression too. When you bump that gain up, it seems just around that 1 o'clock setting, it really kind of adds to the compression, which makes it almost kind of feel a little bit similar to the 5150. Go figure. Let's turn that deep switch on again just to see what type of difference it makes. Unnecessary, but it's really punchy with the overdrive out in front. This thing is a lot of fun, seriously, a lot of fun. Alright, sounds awesome for the punk rock D standard riffs, but last but not least, let's try it in drop C and hear how it sounds there. Alright guys, that is going to do it for me today on the all-new Soldano Super Lead Overdrive pedal. What did you guys think about this thing? Let me know down in the comments. I personally think that it absolutely nails the preamp tones and feel. Feel is very important because a lot of pedals do not get the feel right. They often feel overly tight, overly sterile. This pedal feels like a real tube amp. It's got the reaction like a real tube amp. It sags a little bit. The low end is a little bit thuddy like the real amp. It's not overly tight. It's not overly compressed. They nailed it. In my opinion, they nailed it. But don't let my opinion sway your opinion. Let me know down in the comments, how did it sound coming through my cabinet, my microphone, into your listening device? Do you think it is accurate to the real SLO 100 if you've played one? Or do you think that it just sounds either good or bad? Whatever it is, let me know down in the description. Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments of this video, as I'm really curious to see what you guys thought about it. If you guys want to pick this pedal up, it is now available, $229 from Soldano. I will put a link in the description and in the comments for you guys to be able to find it. And once again, thank you to Boutique Amp Distribution for sending me this pedal to make a demo for you guys. But yeah, if you want to support the channel, what I do here down in the description of this video are all my support links, including my Sweetwater affiliate link. Click that link, buy something from Sweetwater. I get a little kickback, costs you nothing extra, and it greatly helps me out. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, if this is your first time here, hit that like button, it really does help. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of my future uploads. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.